Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Burning Times Tarot. This is Jenny, and so I always try to start off with like just a quick little astrological snippet. I'm not always great at explaining them, but right now we have, 6 different planets are retrograde. We've got a couple that are about to go direct. We all know about Mercury. I think that turns direct 16th or 17th, but a lot of aside from Mercury, nearly all the other ones are outer planets, and so that is pretty huge. The inner planets govern like are kind of faster moving, like day to day or like short term sort of transits and things in our lives, whereas the outer planets are really about like big, like universal karmic themes. Can even be some past life stuff if you believe in that. So definitely a lot of like transformation right now, a lot of healing, a lot of things like in flux, and of course we have Mercury retrograde in Libra, and we have Venus in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign of transformation, represented by the Death card in tarot, and Libra is all about how we share our energy with others. It's about how we communicate, and so yeah, I'm seeing, and then we have like the stellium in Libra. There's all kinds of crazy shit, but anyways, so yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of themes of healing, of transformation, of as I said in the last one, like starting new cycles. I think that's definitely starting to ramp up now in October. So we're gonna get to our reading. I never know what I'm gonna talk about until I hit record, so I mean sometimes that might be why it just comes out kind of stilted sometimes, because I don't know what I'm gonna say. Like, I have thoughts, but then the second I actually hit record, like, I just sort of let whatever wants to come out, come out. So, I hope everyone has been well. I know I'm looking forward to Halloween. I know I'm not alone. Best fucking holiday ever. Hope all of you, for those of you that dress up, hope you're getting into the spirit, getting your creative juices flowing. That's the other thing. I'm definitely feeling like a lot of creativity, a lot of like just, yeah, this real like potent sort of trying to think of a word other than transformation, but like aside from that, just a generation, of like this renewed sort of like drive and creativity coming out. Yeah, okay. So again, like, I'm still getting this sense of like something needing to get unstuck. But it's happening. Like, sometimes these things take a little bit of time, and I'm getting this image of like someone looking over the crest of a hill or like a mountain, and like they know what's waiting for them on the other side, and they're starting to see like the sun poking out, but they're not quite there yet. Like, they're not at the ridge yet, but they're approaching it. So we have the Hierophant in reverse. So, and we have followed by the Ace of Swords in reverse, right? So what this is telling me is that some of you, like, you're still trying to fight the universe. Like, you are still trying to control what's going on in your life. You're still trying to hang on to what I'm getting is, you know, and I look again, I get it. I finally learned to let this go, but it's hard. And I think when you have an unconscious belief that you have to guard against things because you're constantly trying to protect yourself from being let down or disappointed or hurt, you know, you're assuming that the universe is out to get you somehow, or is like not working in your best interest, and you're basically like living out of a mentality of lack and of like, if I don't, you know, I'm surprised the Four of Pentacles hasn't shown up, but you know, we'll see what happens. But it's that feeling of like, I've got to hold onto this tight, like whatever it is, I have to be in control and I have to be the one guiding this, because otherwise it could go off the rails and then I'll be fucked, right? And I think the Hierophant in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse are telling you, fucking let go. Loosen your grip, loosen the reins, like let yourself be guided, because the universe is not out to get you. B, like you need to get in touch with your guides, with yourself, your spirit, whatever it is. Like Ace of Swords in reverse, you need some clarity, and the clarity you need is within, right? So as I always say, whatever, meditate, qigong, reiki, exercise, whatever it is, find something that works for you. You know, it might take a little trial and error, but fucking find it. That's Source said that. But yeah, find it. You need to search your own heart. You need to search your own, not even mind, okay? We're going to leave the mind out of this, because the mind is what gets us into this. A lot of times is because we get bogged down in overthinking. We get bogged down in unconscious programming, like a lot of, you know, unconscious beliefs that we end up operating out of without even realizing it, that can really impact our perspective and how we perceive like certain situations and people and events in our lives. And so really, this is saying, you know, the Hierophant in reverse is really like the Hierophant, and you know, Taurus card, I'm Taurus. It's about blessings, it's about power, sometimes earthly power, but in this case, I feel like it's the universe, your guides, whatever you want to call it, ancestors, angels. You know, they're basically screaming at you like, you need to trust us, right? And this is some of what happens when you start to trust. The Six of Pentacles, and this is about, it can be about giving, it can be about like a mentorship, or like a sense of, you know, just kindness and generosity. But it is, you know, not so much in this deck, but in other decks, it's also a card of reciprocity, right? And that goes both ways. And so really, it's like, once you let this go and you really just start to listen, and again, this is what I was ranting about in the last video, when you start to listen to your own inner guidance, that's when you're going to see things actually start to change for the better, because you're not trying to control the ship anymore. You're just kind of like letting yourself be led. And when I say let yourself be led, that doesn't mean inaction, right? Because inaction is still inaction. It's still a choice. This doesn't mean like, oh, just stop doing everything you're doing and like give it all up to the universe and like don't do anything. That's not what this is. But this is like, let yourself be guided. Let your instincts and your passions and the things that light you up and the things that you are drawn to, like drawn to from, a place of, I don't like the word purity because it like has so many like hypocritical connotations, but just like a place of, I don't know what other word to use, purity, but in the sense of like not ego driven. It's not, don't be led by trying to satisfy your ego or like areas where there maybe is a lack thereof. This is about really like listening to your soul and letting it guide you to the things that truly like not just make you happy and light you up, but truly put you in touch with your own divine nature, right? And Page of Cups. This is what you will find. I never know if this thing is actually like focusing properly. It takes forever. This is what you're going to start to find, right? If you start listening more and you let go, the universe will start to send things your way, right? And Cups especially is like, that's very much about emotions, intuition. I mean, we have the fish coming out of the cup, so it's literally like the universe, let the universe surprise you. Let spirit actually show you how beautiful and interconnected life can be when you start to follow your inner voice. And we have what are those? We have the flowers, on his tunic. And so, and we have the, blue and red colors. God damn it, why isn't this focusing? Anyways, and so this really is like, it's about a balance. It's about a balance between passion and emotion, fire and water. It's, being tapped into your emotions and your passions, but also like not being controlled by your emotions or your like automatic triggers or reflexes. And with the passion, not always necessarily being like led by your lizard brain or your like baser instincts, although obviously like that's fun sometimes too, but this is really about a balance. And operating out of just a more grounded and centered place, right? So again, under the Hierophant, we have the Five of Cups. So some of you have been dealing with a lot of hurt. It's something maybe in the recent past that you have been processing and really trying to move on from. At the same time, I think for a lot of you, it may have actually shown you something that you needed to see and has really helped to propel like this new level of insight and growth that you're having. And really, again, I feel like it's spirit telling you like, turn around. Yes, you've had this sadness and you deserve the time to like heal that and heal from it and process it. But there's still, there's still 2 cups behind you that are full. So at some point when you're ready, you can turn around and they will be there and they're yours for the taking. 5 of Swords, a lot of you are still very in your head, and again, it's right under the Ace of Swords reverse. So there's this need to go inside. There's a need for some clarity, some of you are still like really caught up in your heads. You're just all over the place and probably feeling like called to something, but you're not sure what it is, or you know what it is, but you can't fully accept it, or like aren't really ready to hear it, and so you're just kind of scattered and maybe like keeping a lot to yourselves. And you know, for some of you, I'm hearing that you need to open up more. You need to like turn more to your support systems and confide in them, and you know, not carry all of this on your own. But then for others, and again, take this as it resonates. So you know, only you know which group you're in. But for others, I feel like it's almost the opposite message, because it's really saying maybe you've been depleting yourself too much, like you're giving too much of your energy away. And so the Five of Swords is telling you like you need to conserve and you need to keep some of that for yourself. Otherwise, like if you stay scattered, it's only going to prolong all of this. It's really about like taking some of that back and using it for yourself and getting grounded again, so that you can sort of like venture back out and, you know, be that support to other people. Because I get the feeling a lot of you, you know, part of this confusion and exhaustion is that you feel like you have a lot of people depending on you, or like you feel this really heavy sense of responsibility. And as beautiful as that can be, it's also kind of weighing you down right now. And, you know, I mean, take care of what you got to take care of, you know, honor your commitments. At the same time, find a way to ground yourself and give some of that time and energy back to yourself. Because I feel like that's part of what is preventing you from really like finally taking that breath and turning around and seeing what's waiting for you, is because you're so scattered, you've completely forgotten about the other two cups, right? And again, so we have the Three of Swords in reverse. So you are healing. If you're, for a lot of you, like you've come out of the worst of it, but you're just still gathering your strength, gathering your resources. But again, like when Source speaks, listen, right? And what's that saying? And this isn't always true, because that's definitely yelled at me before, but there's that saying, what is it? Anxiety screams, but intuition whispers. Something like that. But basically, you know, sometimes the voices in our head that yell the loudest are the ones that we pay the most attention to. But sometimes those are the ones that are born out of that, like, unconscious programming. And what we really need to do is slow down, quiet down, and pay attention to what comes out underneath that, right? The quieter stuff, the stuff that is more like calm and in the flow. That's what's more stable, and that's what really needs to be listened to and honored. And I mean, the sun is one of the most like happy and beautiful and joyous energies in the deck, and it really is about like this beautiful coming into the self of integration, and really just radiating your light. And so I mean, it's telling you literally, like, if you really listen, if you do all of these things that I'm talking about and you really like find that voice and you learn to like listen to yourself and to spirit, the universe will repay you, and you'll be shocked and surprised and thrilled at the things that you start to see, because this world is so much bigger than we often realize, because we get so caught up in our own minds, our own movements, our own little cycles and routines, and it's so easy to do. But when we start to break out of that and look beyond that, you really sense like how beautiful and how vast life is. And when you start seeing all of these signs and all of this interconnectedness, I guess it's like a reminder of how small you are and how big you are at the same time. I feel like I'm almost like getting lost for words, because I'm just sort of like picking up on this really like beautiful, like calming energy. So, okay, I'm gonna draw some Loteria cards. I keep saying I'm gonna do a pick a card. I swear I'm gonna do a pick a card soon. I've been scattered, right? Like, I've been pretty scattered myself, so I get it. Okay. So we have El Alacran in reverse, Scorpio energy, right? Yeah, it's just, you need to trust more, right? Like, you're constantly waiting. You're waiting for the sting. You're waiting for the bite, right? But in reverse, El Alacran is telling you, like, it's okay, right? It's okay to let go a little bit. It's okay to trust. And the more that you trust, the more that you will see, like, the clearer it will be when you need to trust and when you need to pull away, right? Because so much of this is born out of like a fear of being hurt, fear of disappointment, fear of regret. But again, it's when you hold on too tight and you just stay in your own head, then you are sort of, you're being imprisoned by your own thoughts in a way, and your own like reflexes. And so really, it's once you get that higher perspective and you really start to like tap into the flow of things and like tap into that universal energy, that's when you'll actually feel, it's hard to believe because it's so hard to let go, but once you do it, you'll realize you actually feel safer than you did before, because you know where you need to go, and you know that if something is wrong, you will see it and you will get those signs. And so you will be able to discern, you will be able to trust your own discernment and your own mind, right? Without being like imprisoned between these like conflicting thoughts and ideas. And El Diablito, again, it's the same. El Diablito in Loteria is like, it's not the same as the devil in tarot, right? The devil card in tarot can mean a lot of different things, but it's like these very big themes, right? Whereas this one is like the little devil, right? It's like more about, it's not like these big overarching themes of like the things that are keeping us like in toxic cycles or, whatever. This is more about the little everyday things. And again, so he's just telling you, like, get out of your head. Stop falling into these little, like, repetitive, negative thoughts and behaviors. You need to break out of it. You need to trust. You need to open up a little bit. And you need to really just like step into that flow and just let it go. I mean, that's just that's what keeps coming out, is I just let it go. So now I've gotten a few new decks actually, but what I'm going to do today, so I got this Witches Familiars deck, which I'm enjoying a lot, and I tend to get a lot of messages from spirit in the form of animals, and I'm sure that many of you do too. And so I'm gonna keep the book. I'm gonna read from the book because I won't read like the whole thing, but because it's a new deck, I'm still, I'm still learning and getting acquainted with it. But I do like to do both at the same time, as like jump in but also study it. But yeah, I definitely want to get a lot more animal decks, because I find I get very powerful animal messages a lot. Yeah. Okay, so we have the crow, sovereignty, and I feel like that perfectly ties into what I've been saying, is sovereignty in this context to me is really about your energy, and like I said, staying grounded, finding, like, getting in touch with your inner voice, getting in touch with your inner guidance, and really like learning, like seeing where in your life are you giving too much away, to the point that you don't have enough for yourself, right? Because really, there's that Ace of Cups energy, like only pour into another's cup when yours is overflowing. We have the goat, which is potency. And so again, I think when you have your sovereignty, that's when you really step into your power, right? That's where you really start to come into your own and start to trust yourself and trust the universe. And then we have the moth and caution. And we all know about the moth being drawn to the flame. And so again, it's about that discernment between what is ego and what is spirit. And ego and earthly things doesn't automatically make everything like bad or negative or ugly or impure or whatever the fuck, like a lot of the Judeo-Christian sort of meanings are attached to that. But and really what I'm hearing with this one, it's about discernment, but I feel like it's also a warning of like, don't drift too far from this, because when you start going back into those like negative cycles, because some of it, like, neuroplasticity is a thing, right? So you create habit, like you create physical habits, right? So it could be like, whether it's like change in diet, or like starting to exercise regularly, or quitting smoking, or whatever it is. You sort of train yourself into these habits. Well, we do the same with our thought patterns, and so especially things like negative self-talk, or like just if it's a tendency to like look at things from like a negative lens, or whatever, or like this out of this fear-based way of thinking, it can be so easy to get sucked back into that, because those are the pathways we've carved out in our brain. That is what we are used to. That is what feels familiar in a way. And so to me, this is, and I will read from the book in a second, it's just A lot of stuff coming out. But really, I feel like this is a warning against being sucked back into that, because what feels familiar can be very tempting at times, especially on like an unconscious or a karmic level, like repeating certain patterns. So really it's like, how do we break out of those patterns? How do we, reset so that we can stay in our sovereignty, so that we can maintain our potency, right? I like that word. That feels like a good word right now. Okay, let's start with Crow. What does Crow have to say in this book? Okay, so this is a bit long, so I'm just trying to figure out, like, do I read the whole thing, or... Okay, so we'll just go with Familiar's foresight, right? Okay. Time to reclaim your strength and power. Balance the light by embracing your shadow side, right? Integration, going within, exactly. Crow highlights the path you are to take. A death or ending of the old is imminent. Release the past and move on. Okay, so again, releasing those toxic cycles, like, if what I'm hearing is like, if in the past you were withholding and maybe you didn't always express your inner truth for fear of how it would be received, or for fear of like giving too much away, fucking speak, speak from your heart. Speak honestly and humbly, and operate out of that. Oh, and I'm just noticing actually that there's dragonflies in the background of this, and a lantern, and the lantern always makes me think of the Hermit card, which is Virgo energy, and there are birds in the background of this as well, but the dragonflies, are all about like regeneration and like new beginnings. So let's see what the goat has to say here. A once-in-a-lifetime offer is made. Before undertaking a major decision, be very clear of your intention and transparent in your actions. A deception is about to be discovered. Now is not a time for white lies or any lies. Okay, right? Right, exactly what I was just saying. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. And part of doing that is detaching from ego, detaching from the need to please others or be accepted by others, and simply speaking from your own heart. And sometimes you might be the only person that has this particular truth. Express it, and again, be very clear of your intention and transparent in your action. So again, that is like living out of your truth. That is saying like, regardless of, I can't control how I am perceived or received. All I can do is do what feels right for me and do what I feel guided to do. And when you operate out of that, as I said, on like a selfless level rather than like out of the ego level, that's when, things will start to unfold in a completely different way for you. And it's really just, again, like I said, that is power. That's stepping into your power, is just saying like, I understand, I am clear on what is happening inside of me, and I can express that and put that out to people. And most of the time what you receive back will be far more positive than what you might be expecting. And it's when you come out of that place of honesty and humility, other people's energy, or like the universe's energy will come up to match yours. So the moth. Use discretion as a better part of valor. Don't let anyone into your life before you know who they are. Recognize your own weaknesses and become bold and brave. Don't be blinded by the light. A new chapter of your life has just begun. So again, don't get sucked back into old patterns. Don't operate out of ego. Stand in your power. Speak your truth. And work out of that inner knowing. And you will be fine. Oh, wow, okay, no. I just opened the book and saw something, and this is not in here. This is actually Spider, but the sentence just jumped out at me, and it says, stop self-sabotaging. You weave your own destiny. So I'm going to take that one. Okay, so I'm going to finish up with our oracle card. I really hope, I hope this is resonating for you. I hope everyone is taking this time to really like go within, reflect. You know, October is such a like, keep hearing the word liminal all of a sudden. But it is this very, you know, it really is a time when like the veil is the thinnest. And so if you are looking for a time to like connect with spirit, connect with source, get some guidance, I mean, you picked the perfect fucking time. So just go with it, right? Go with it. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, so the first one we have is no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. And, you know, don't worry, it's fine. It's really, this is just a message. It doesn't mean that like whatever, you know, just what the card said before, like something new is coming into your life, right? But you gotta meet it halfway. You gotta be ready for it, okay? So you need, take this time to get yourself right. Take this time to like sort out your own head, right? So that when this does come into your life, you're ready to meet it and you're ready to like be on the right level for it. Okay, next one. Just what, dude, I love when this happens. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Just what I was saying about your energy being depleted. You don't have enough for yourself. You need to reclaim some of that for yourself. That's exactly what that's saying, is you need to establish those boundaries so that you can start to heal yourself, so that you can, you know, and I mean, for some of you, like, you might just know, like, something needs to be healed, but you don't even know what, right? So part of that is taking that time to really look inward and really look and listen is what I'm hearing. Just look and listen and be still and be quiet, and it will come to you, right? You don't need to, like, constantly, you know, it's not this like constant frantic, that's the brain energy. That's that like circular thoughts and overthinking. That's that energy. Get out of that. Just be still and let it come. And Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Exactly what I was saying. When you let go and you turning into RuPaul, when you let go and you let God, trust and believe, the universe will meet you halfway, and you will be surprised how many things start to fall in place and how many things start to make sense. And you will quiet that monkey brain, that monkey mind, right? That will get quieter, and what comes in its place will be much more calm, much more assured, and bottom line, much more true. And so, yeah, I mean, I love this. Yeah, I saw the no at first and I was like, oh shit. But really, I mean, you're on the right path, right? Like, don't doubt it. Just, you need to go within, period. So that's my message for right now, for the start of October. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it resonated with you. I am going to start posting some pick-a cards, like static, pictures. And yeah, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can email me at burningtimestarot@gmail.com, or you can contact me. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Burning Times Tarot. You can DM me. I will not solicit personals, so I never contact people. So if anyone does that, that's not me. And if you are feeling moved to tip or make a donation, my Venmo is in the link. It's Burning Times Tarot as well. But yeah, I shall leave you guys here, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care.